You guys, it's Tommy here from Saleslucky.com, and today we're going to be answering the question how to master the art of selling. Okay, so in order to master the art of sales, in order to master the art of selling, we must first study. I heard in an audio one time, I think it was by Earl Nightingale. He said, if you want to master something, you better make a study of it. He says, if I go to your house, I better see, and you want to master sales, I better see sales books, in your on your bookshelves. And I've certainly got sales books on these bookshelves. And he says, if you're into architecture and I go to your house, I don't see architecture magazines and periodicals, whatever might have you, then you're not really wanting to master this. You're not really about this. So it always surprises me when I talk to people who want to improve in sales or people who have sales as a profession, but they've never read a book on it or if you don't like reading books, listen to an audio book about it. Because if this is something that you want to really get good at, really master, you're gonna want to study it. A doctor doesn't become a doctor by not studying medicine. It's the same thing with sales. With here at Saleslucky, we've got top 10 sales book recommendations, and here you go. Number 1 is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a classic. Not only, definitely for business people, and also for salespeople too. The mindset laid out in Think and Grow Rich is applicable to anything. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. 2, How to Sell Your Way Through Life by Napoleon Hill. Incredible book that Napoleon Hill wrote specifically on the topic of selling. And he trained salespeople, so he knew what he was talking about. Number 3 is Influence by Robert Cialdini. Legendary book on sales and influence. Incredibly powerful book. All right, guys, got to check it out. Number 4 is Persuasion by Robert Cialdini as well. Also an incredible book. These people know what they're talking about. Incredibly powerful stuff. 5, How to Sell Network Marketing Without Fear by Michael Oliver. This is a lesser known book, but it's a hidden gem. It's definitely a hidden piece of gold. Don't judge it by its title because the title is really not relevant to the content at all. One of the best sales books I've read, for sure. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, a forever classic, and it forever will be, just because humans are human nature for the majority of it, if not all of it, has remained the same, pretty much. Spin Selling by Neil Rackham. It's a good kind of more textbook on sales, on different tactics and strategies that you can use. It is effective. I would recommend it. To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink, another good sales book. The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, number 9. And number 10, Linchpin by Seth Godin. While not specifically on the topic of sales, just like Think and Grow Rich, and this book is on mindset and being productive and being somebody that is indispensable, which obviously as a salesperson you're gonna want to exhibit that. And then lastly, so that's study. All right. Next piece is grit. Number 2 is grit. This is incredibly important because it's about having the resiliency, the tenacity, and just the will to push through when you're getting no's. And it's not something that people are born with per se, but it's built. You build it by going through that, repeatedly until it doesn't really matter anymore. But it's a constant pushing forward. And it was Bruce Lee who said, "I fear not the man who has done 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times, and it's willing to do the repetitive, the the repetitive, the mundane, and master it, and going through the pitfalls and the challenges that one has to go through to learn the little nuances. It's like paying a price, and for those skills. And it definitely takes grit. Tony Robbins also says repetition is the mother of skill. So it's a willingness to do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. As an example to this, the founder of Spanx, the founder of Spanx, Sarah Blakely, before she founded Spanx, she actually worked as a salesperson. Guess what she was selling? She was selling copiers. Talk about a commodity where there's really no differentiation between one brand to the other, and she worked as a copier salesperson for 7 years. Like for 7 years, selling copy machines, like competing against, like what could you be competing on? Like how fast your sheets are printing. Like 60 pages versus 63 pages a minute. And she did that for 7 years, and she said it was invaluable education. She said it taught her about the nonverbal cues that people give out during sales interactions, when she would have to, knock on businesses, or and try to get meetings and stuff like that. She said it was incredible education. And then number 3, the last piece here, is just desire. And along with desire, I want to talk about art, because at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that sales is an art, how to master the art of selling. And there's science and art to it. The science is like the sales process, the understanding a customer's pain points, and then helping them understand the implications of that, and then providing a solution, being focused on the customer. All of that, the aspects of human nature that haven't changed. All that is, you can call it science, because there's a process to it, and there's like a structure to it, and it hasn't changed. That doesn't change. But how you do that is an art. You might have one style where you're very extroverted, you're great at building rapport. You can have a different style that's more introverted and more curiosity based, and you're more understanding. You can have different styles, and how you go about it is an art. So I hope you guys got value out of this video. If you guys did, please drop a comment, please share it, and I'll see you guys soon.